I'm Marissa Zuito, a licensed mental health therapist and coach specializing in supporting new moms because of the struggle I went through when my daughter was born. Here are 5 things I wish I had known about postpartum depression and the transition into motherhood. Number 1, and this is the most important thing I wish I had known. You might not actually have postpartum depression. You might just be having a normal reaction to a really difficult transition. Of course, no one wants to be unhappy, but just because you don't love being a mother or are struggling, it doesn't always equal illness or disease. At the end of the day, postpartum depression is a mental illness, and we are told that it is the illness or disease that is responsible for the negative feelings you're experiencing. But given how challenging the transition into motherhood can be, having a difficult birth experience, adapting to breastfeeding, adjusting to sleep deprivation, colic, or other health concerns with the baby, just to name a few, in many instances, this is what causes the overwhelm and sadness, and not necessarily the onset of a mental illness, but we just don't hear it explained like that. Probably because it's taboo to imply that new motherhood is hard or unenjoyable. I'm on a mission to validate and normalize that motherhood can be incredibly challenging and not as rewarding or enjoyable as society often conveys. I sure wish someone had explained this to me when I was going through it. Having that validation would have been so incredibly healing for me and may have actually prevented my depression. Number 2, this is common. It is estimated that 1 in 5 mothers are affected, and that number could be underreported due to stigma, embarrassment, or fear of consequences due to misconceptions. I invite all new parents to start talking about their postpartum experiences, promoting more realistic expectations and normalization that a variety of feelings and experiences can occur, including the most taboo of feelings like regret or grief of one's old life. Number 3, as I mentioned earlier, there are so many new things happening and that can go wrong that can cause depression. I was overwhelmed by so many changes and new things to learn, like breastfeeding, how much a baby cries, how dependent a baby is, how a lack of sleep would truly affect me, health concerns of the baby, and my own body changing and healing. None of these things seemed to go smoothly and led to me feeling despair and then depressed. I wish my expectations had been more realistic and I had reached out for solutions and resources sooner, like a lactation consultant and a nanny to help out so I could have more balance and take better care of myself, which leads to number 4. If your ideal postpartum experience did not happen, then reevaluate your needs based on what is happening now. I had anticipated that I would love being a mother and that I would be in love with my baby. I naively anticipated that my baby would be easy and enjoyable to take care of. Instead, she had acid reflux, colic, and screamed loudly. On top of this, she was not getting enough breast milk from me and not gaining enough weight. This was stressful. Additionally, I did not bond with her, grieve my old life, and found myself regretting my decision. The original plan was to be at home with her with no additional help, but with all the things I mentioned, I wish I had reevaluated my needs and made adjustments accordingly, like hiring somebody to come every day to help with the baby and other household tasks. This would have made a huge difference in my well-being. Number 5, get support, both hands-on support and emotional support. I suffered for too long trying to go it alone, both with taking care of my baby and feeling sad, alone, and embarrassed. It was rough. I wish I had known that given everything I was experiencing, it made sense that I was struggling and unhappy. I was not broken like I thought. I wish I had joined a postpartum support group to hear from other parents and met with a therapist that specialized in supporting new moms. I wish I had leaned into my husband more for help so I could take more breaks as well as hire help. I did all of this eventually, but should have done it much sooner. To connect with me, visit my website at postpartumhappiness.com or follow me on social media at postpartumhappiness.